Shelly, do you like Corvettes? One meow for yes. Okay, we're gonna start the part 3. Is it part 3, David?
I think so.
I think it's part 3 of his 1,000 horsepower Z06 here. Come on down here and check this out. All right, so we got the Aeromotive set up here. We got an outlet, return and a vent. We got these 2 big bad boy pumps, and they're gonna go down in here. Check this out. Do you guys see the foam inside of there? So this is gonna be the surge tank, kind of a surge tank. It's not pressurized, so it's not truly a surge tank, but it's still pretty cool. I want to give a huge shout out to HMC Coatings. So they put this like industrial flat texture black on this. That's killer. So we got it on this. We got the intake manifold coated now. There's gonna be a cover that goes on top of that. And then down here, they even hooked this up solid. Got the fuel rails done, so they're gonna be kind of hidden. And then the big, huge E85 tank down here. So these are all wrapped up, just came back. So thanks to the guys at HMC. That's the comedy stuff people just love though.
Love it.
All right, David is working on putting the sensors back on his intake manifold there. So we got a little evap there, a couple map sensors on there, and then it'll be ready to go back in. Man, I gotta hand it to Aeromotive, so high five to the guys there. This whole setup is just cool. Like if you can see this, there's a ring inside of here that comes up to mount this, and then this gasket nestles right into here as it sits down. So what's cool is they even give you the drill jig to make all these holes, you know, in the tanks that you make. So simple that you can install this in the better part of a couple hours and have just a killer fuel system. So wish I had a couple hours in building this. Wouldn't you say, David?
Yeah.
So anyways, we're about to drop this down in here. It's going. Yes. And there all the goodies disappear. And there she is, finished up. One thing I want to say, I am so sorry, Jesse, for covering up your beautiful welds with this wicked powder coat from HMC. Because, man, you can weld, sir. And a big shout out to Roger for getting these tanks folded up for me and made. So, thanks to you 2 dudes. It's awesome. These are the shoes you need when you're in the back of one of these. Come here, check out with the mounting points.
What are you doing in there, Erik?
Drilling the holes for the mounting points for the fuel tank that's going to sit right where I'm sitting. And then we're going to build big washers on the bottom side of this car, because only a few of these bolts are going to go into the frame, and then the other bolts are kind of in the back of this car that's made out of fiberglass. So to make sure that the tank doesn't come out of here, we're going to build big washers for the bottom that we can install on the underside, so that way there's a big sandwich holding this thing in. And if you look right here, you'll see that we already got the small tank mounted. So she sits right here with her pumps. Here's the fill, the vent, and then the feed. And then here's our bulkhead fittings that drop through the floor. So we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep on going. Checking out the internet? Yeah?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm balls deep in a text.
Oh, a text. Kaya, what are you doing? Yeah! Did you just bring me a beer? Really? Is it cold?
Warm.
Oh, it's warm. What did you get? But you got a cold popsicle?
Yeah.
I got the
red.
It is red. I kind of got the shaft with the warm beer, didn't I? But I got free delivery. Thank you. Thank you for the kiss.
What you cooking there, Erik?
David, I'm glad you asked. We're cooking up 2 feed lines and a return line. We're gonna top it off with maybe some diced tomatoes and maybe some Dakota's black beans. Hey, get off the counter. Tonight on Cooking Car Parts with Erik, we are doing some push lock AN lines. So if you're like me and you don't want to spend $200 on the correct tool to do this, heat up some water, soak your hose, get it up to temp, and then you can slide, well, use some rags, slide these fittings on, and you can actually get them as tight as you need them to be. So, that's it, kids. And tonight's project is brought to you by Stella. Who needs a cat toy when you got -6 line? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, who wants to performance test a Dodge Intrepid? Like, nobody wants to sign up for that shit. Are you recording?
I'm recording.
Oh my god. All right. Hey, message from our sponsors. DW Injectors. There's some swell guys that work there. Literally from the top to the bottom. Everybody I've ever talked to is just awesome to deal with. So on this project, I was super stoked. We're gonna be running a set of 1500 cc injectors. They're a real small body size. These are actually usually used in like a CTSV, but that way, in our nice powder coated rail here, thanks to HMC, these are gonna fit down in here nice and snug. So let's get this on. Let's get these installed. And when you're installing your super sweet DW injectors, remember to lube these bad boys up, because nobody likes going in dry. Blow an O-ring. All right, row 1 is installed. Ready to put on the rail.
Woo-wee!
Man, check this out.
Boy, do those
Man, this is, I gotta say, thank you, Tyler, Van Lant, thank you, Jesse, thank you, HMC, thank you, DW Injectors, because that is flat out sexy. I mean, as far as an intake manifold goes and some auxiliary injectors, that's as good as it gets. So, I can't wait. Let's get that other side done. What do you think? Oh, speechless.
Nothing.
That's beautiful.
Just in awe.
Just sitting on my fake Yeti here, cutting that hose. Oh, we're almost done. Woo! Look at that. Look how perfect that is. That's why you use a clamp. Anyway, so clear fuel hose. Time to install.
What you doing there, Eric?
Tightening your big clear hose.
Wow.
Yeah, so check this out. Everybody, not everybody, but a few people made fun of me when I was trying to find this clear hose. But the reason for that is when you're filling this, you'll know that you got at least a half tank once there's no air bubbles in this. So you'll be able to see the E85 in this and know about where you're at as it transfers from that to this. So I'm pretty stoked. So let's get the rest of the hoses on this bad boy and tighten her down.
Sounds like a plan.
Woo! That's it, buddy. Come on in here. The end of part 3. I think 3.5, wherever we're at. Here you go. She is mounted solid. So what you guys saw is we mounted big plates to the bottom of the frame. We bolted her down. So on the underside of the carbon tub, these can't pull through. The front mounts to the tank go through the frame, so this tank isn't going anywhere. Remember, there's baffles inside of here, so the fuel can't slosh once it's inside. We got our Radium engineering fuel pressure regulator, which is super trick looking. I just love it. We got our oil-filled gauge, so we'll be able to mount our pressure. We got our clear tube, so we can kind of see our level. Obviously, we won't know it's full until you're looking in here, but get a good idea. Vent line, got our red horse fittings, Aeromotive fuel pumps down in the sump here. Plenty of room to still access our fuse panel. Come check this out. So like you got to get in here. Got your fuses, batteries back here. And I will openly admit that on this project, I know I broke something. And David, I'm gonna have to buy you this little guy. So that's why I haven't put this back in there yet. I gotta unbolt that because I broke the tip off. Just the tip.
No.
I know. I was yanking on it and there it went. But that's it, man. Wrap up to part 3. We gotta wire this pump up. I gotta wire up the controller for the voltage. I gotta wire up what's gonna control the injectors. That's all gonna be a trick. That's gonna be in part 4. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on part 4. Peace. Man, you know what drives me nutty is when people cut zip ties at like a 45-degree angle like that, and then you're working underneath the dash and you're like, oh, why is it cutting me? It's so much nicer if you use a zip tie cutter and you just cut it straight, and then you can't cut yourself. It's brilliant, I tell ya.